My name is Olivia. I'm sitting in what was once my sister's office, now mine, poring over the preliminary audit reports of the Sterling Corporation. The damage is far worse than I'd anticipated. A soft knock at the door interrupts my thoughts. It's my father, looking diminished without his usual air of authority. Security said I needed your permission to come up, he says, forcing a weak smile. Standard protocol for suspended executives, I reply, not looking up from the reports. Suspended? But I'm retired, he protests. Semi-retired. I correct him. And still drawing a hefty salary as chairman, a position you used to rubber stamp every ill-advised decision my sister made. He slumps into a chair across from me. I trusted her. She was so confident. No, you favored her, I say firmly. There's a difference. He then asks quietly, did building all this make you happy? Prove us wrong. I finally look up at him. This isn't about proving you wrong, Dad. It's about proving myself right. Every time you dismissed my ideas, every time my sister, Lily, mocked my humble job, and every time Mom told me to find a rich husband, I was building something real. Let me take you back to how all this started. The Sterling Corporation's modern glass and steel headquarters loomed over downtown New York, its upper floors vanishing into the early morning mist. I sat in my unassuming cubicle, watching as the executives made their way into the main conference room for the quarterly shareholders meeting. Lily, my older sister, in her designer power suit, stopped by my desk. Her lips curled into that condescending smile she'd mastered since taking over as CEO after Dad's semi-retirement. Still working on those reports, Olivia? It's like you're playing with toys, she sneered. This meeting is for shareholders and executives only. You understand, don't you? Someone has to keep the wheels turning out here. I glanced at my watch. It was 9:50 a.m. In exactly 10 minutes, the law firm of Harris and Company would arrive with the documents revealing that Nova Investments, my secretly run investment company, now owned 51% of Sterling Corporation shares. Of course, Lily, I replied calmly, turning back to my computer. I'll just stay here and handle the invoices. She lingered, unable to resist reminding me of my place. If you'd finished business school like Dad wanted, you might be in there with us. But some people are just meant for simple jobs. What she didn't know is that I'd completed business school at night while working my way up through different companies, learning every aspect of corporate operations from the ground up. While she was attending high society events and collecting board positions through Dad's connections, I was building my own empire. My phone buzzed with a message from my lawyer. Documents prepared. Team in position. Commence at 10 a.m. sharp. I typed back, proceed. Oh, Olivia, Lily said as she turned away. We need coffee in the boardroom. Make sure it's the good stuff this time, not that cheap blend you ordered last month. I smiled, recalling how I deliberately ordered the cheap coffee to give her another reason to belittle me. Every perceived failure was part of my plan to build their confidence while hiding my true intentions. Through the glass walls, I saw Dad settling into his chairman's seat. Henry Thompson, the founder of Sterling Corporation, now semi-retired but still pulling the strings through his chosen successor, my sister. He caught my eye and frowned slightly, probably wondering why his underachieving younger daughter was even looking in that direction. My other phone, the one they didn't know about, buzzed with updates from my real office at Nova Investments. Stock purchases were confirmed, proxy votes were secured, and board members had been quietly informed of the impending ownership change. Everything was in place. I watched the last of the executives rush into the boardroom, clutching their portfolios and tablets. My brother-in-law, Ethan, Lily's husband and the company's CFO, gave me a smug look as he passed. At last week's family dinner, he'd boasted about his new Lamborghini and asked if I'd ever paid off my old Ford. The Ford was just a prop, like my entire image of mediocrity. They had no idea about my luxury car collection, my penthouse overlooking Central Park, or the fact that I'd been systematically buying Sterling Corporation shares through shell companies for the past 3 years. At 9:58 a.m. Right on schedule, an elegant woman in a sharp suit walked past my desk and nodded slightly. It was Amelia Harris, the senior partner at Harris and Company, and the only person besides my lawyers who knew my true identity as the CEO of Nova Investments. I stood up, straightening my plain dress, and followed her to the boardroom. Lily's voice came through the door as we approached. Before we start, I'm pleased to announce that Sterling Corporation stock has reached an all-time high. Our aggressive expansion strategy is working. Amelia pushed open the door, interrupting Lily mid-sentence. The room fell silent as everyone turned to stare at the unexpected intrusion. Ms. Thompson, Amelia began, I apologize for the interruption, but I have some urgent documents that need your immediate attention. Lily's perfect smile faltered. We're in the middle of a shareholders meeting. This can wait. Actually, Amelia replied, opening her briefcase, this directly concerns the shareholders meeting, specifically the matter of majority ownership of Sterling Corporation. Dad leaned forward. What are you talking about? The Thompson family holds majority ownership through our private shares. That situation has recently changed, Amelia said calmly. I stepped into the room and stood beside Amelia. Lily's eyes narrowed. Olivia, I told you this meeting is private. And why aren't you in uniform if you're here to serve coffee? She's not here to serve coffee, Amelia announced, placing a thick folder on the table. She's the majority shareholder of Sterling Corporation through her company, Nova Investments. The room went dead silent. Lily's face turned pale, then red. Ethan dropped his pen. Dad's hands tightened on the chair arms until his knuckles were white. That's impossible, Lily stammered. Nova Investments is owned by some reclusive tech billionaire. Actually, I said for the first time, Nova Investments is mine. I founded it 8 years ago while you all thought I was just a low-level clerk. Dad found his voice. 8 years? But you've been working here as an administrative assistant. Yes, I have. I corrected him. Learning every aspect of this company while building my own empire on the side. Didn't you ever wonder why I was content with such a modest position? This is ridiculous, Lily snapped, but her voice trembled. Show me proof. Amelia began distributing documents to each board member, showing full documentation of share purchases, voting rights, and transfer of ownership. As of 9 a.m. that morning, Nova Investments owned 51% of Sterling Corporation's outstanding shares. I moved to the head of the table, taking the seat that had always been Lily's. Now, shall we start the real shareholders meeting? The boardroom erupted in chaos. Lily's hands shook as she flipped through the documents, her face growing paler with each page. Ethan was frantically typing on his phone, probably trying to verify the stock transactions. The other board members whispered to each other, stealing glances at me and my family. This can't be legal, Lily shrieked. Dad, do something. Dad just stared at me like he'd never seen me before. The transactions are completely legal, Amelia confirmed, pulling out more documents. Every share purchase was properly recorded and the SEC has been informed of the ownership change. But the money, Ethan interrupted. Sterling Corporation shares are worth billions. Where did you get that kind of capital? I smiled. Nova Investments isn't just one company. We own tech patents, real estate developments, and have controlling interests in dozens of corporations across multiple industries. Sterling Corporation is one of our smaller acquisitions. Smaller? Lily choked out. The current market value of Nova Investments holdings exceeds $15 billion, Amelia stated matter-of-factly. The purchase of Sterling Corporation shares represented less than 20% of our available liquid assets. Dad finally spoke. All this time, we thought you were just the family disappointment. I finished for him. The one who couldn't handle business school? The one who needed a simple job to stay busy. I turned to Lily. Remember what you said at last month's family dinner? At least Olivia knows her limitations. Lily's face flushed. You deceived us. You secretly plotted to take over our company. Your company? I raised an eyebrow. You mean the company you inherited through Dad's connections? The one you've been running into the ground with your focus on short-term profits and flashy deals. I pressed a button on the console, and the wall screens lit up with financial charts and data. Look familiar, Ethan? These are the real numbers you've been hiding. The failing projects, the mounting debt, and the shady accounting practices. Did you really think no one would notice? Ethan slumped in his chair, his arrogance deflating. We've had some setbacks, Lily protested weakly. Your quarterly report shows what you wanted it to show. I cut her off. But Nova Investments' forensic accountants found the truth. Do you want me to share their findings with the board? The other board members shifted uneasily. They knew what a forensic audit might reveal about their complicity in Lily and Ethan's accounting tricks. What do you want? Dad asked quietly.
Money?
Recognition? I laughed. Dad, I have more money than this whole family combined. I own properties across 3 continents. What I want is to save this company from my sister's mismanagement. I've done nothing wrong. Lily stood up, her heels clicking on the floor. This company has thrived under my leadership. Sit down, Lily, I said firmly. Before I ask Amelia to share the SEC's preliminary findings about your insider trading activities. She fell back into her chair, her face ashen. I've had people watching your every move for years. Every illegal trade, every hidden account, every secret meeting with competitors. Did you really think you could hide it forever? Ethan reached for Lily's hand, but she pulled away. Their perfect power couple image was crumbling. As of now, I continued, both of you are suspended pending a full investigation. Security is changing the locks on your offices and securing your computers. You can't do this, Lily whispered, but there was no conviction in her voice. Surely I can. As the majority shareholder, I can do what's necessary to save this company from your mismanagement. I turned to the board members. Unless anyone else wants their financial dealings examined by our forensic team. The silence was deafening. Dad, we can discuss this as a family, he tried again, using his old persuasive tone. The Sterling name stays, I interrupted. But everything else changes. Starting now. I nodded to Amelia, who began distributing documents for immediate changes in corporate governance, new board appointments, management restructuring, and a full audit of all operations. Lily grabbed the papers, her hands shaking. You're firing us? Your own family?
No, Lily.
I'm saving this company from our family's nepotism, corruption, and entitled mismanagement. I stood up and looked each board member in the eye. You have a choice. Cooperate with the investigation and transition, or face the consequences. Either way, Sterling Corporation will become a properly managed, ethical company. Dad slumped in his chair, looking old. All these years, we thought we were successful. I smiled, thinking of all the family dinners where they'd mocked my simple life, never suspecting that their so-called success was built on a shaky foundation while I was building a real empire. Success isn't about flaunting wealth or power, Dad. It's about building something real and lasting. Something you all forgot a long time ago. After the shareholders' meeting, security escorted Lily and Ethan out of the building with their belongings in cardboard boxes. The board members scattered, likely rushing to their lawyers. Dad lingered, looking at me like a stranger. Why work in a cubicle all these years when you had all this? He finally asked. I walked to the window, looking at the New York skyline. Remember when you told me I wasn't cut out for business? That I should find something more suitable? You were protecting Lily, not me. And look how that turned out. My phone buzzed with updates from the security team. Lily's office had a trove of incriminating documents, and Ethan's computer had enough evidence of financial misconduct to keep prosecutors busy for months. My assistant, Sarah, entered. The press is gathering in the lobby. They've heard about the ownership change. Dad's head snapped up.
Nova.
You're really the Nova everyone's been talking about? The mysterious billionaire transforming corporate America? The very same. I smiled. Amazing what you can achieve when no one's watching or when they're too busy mocking you. The next few hours were a whirlwind. Press releases went out about the leadership change. Stock prices fluctuated as the market digested the news. My phone kept buzzing with messages from family members, first angry, then pleading, then desperate. I ignored them all, focusing on saving Sterling Corporation from the mess they'd made. Now, as I sit here in this office, I'm determined to turn Sterling Corporation into the company it should have been all along, based on merit, not family connections.